Another approach to understanding the political landscape is to examine how people might think differently about society. Now, George Lakoff argues that liberals and conservatives both think about society using the same metaphor: the nation is a family. It's just that the two tribes have different families in mind. For conservatives, the family model is the strict father model of the family. In this model, one of the important roles of the family is to produce children with the virtue of self-discipline. Now, why is that important? Well, because the world is a competitive world, and it's also a dangerous world. There are lots of temptations out there, and one needs self-discipline to successfully navigate this world. Now, how does the family do this? Well, there's where the strict father comes in. The strict father will help children who are born bad, you might say, will help them develop the capacity of self-discipline. Negative reinforcement is necessary. Punishment is necessary to achieve this goal. Now, an interesting feature of the conservative worldview is what happens when individuals pursue their self-interest out in the wider world. And the argument here made by conservatives is that the pursuit of self-interest delivers something really important, and that is prosperity for society as a whole, the good of society. Now, that's sort of convenient here because we don't then need any other type of government. We don't need anything above just the pursuit of self-interest to deliver the good of society. So in a sense, the conservative worldview is such that one is sort of harnessing selfishness and setting up a system where everybody pursuing their own selfish interest ends up promoting the social good. Self-discipline then is the key to success. Notice conservatives then are tempted to make an inference that if you're not being successful in this system, you might be lacking self-discipline. And since that's a virtue, this is an immoral state of affairs, right? Well, if you lack self-discipline and you're immoral, well, then you don't deserve government help. And so conservatives tend to want to reduce the safety net. The fear among conservatives is that safety net programs tend to undermine self-discipline. Right. So in summary then, the government programs should not be interfering with the free market. The free market is a system that is allowing individuals to pursue their self-interest, and in the end, that all promotes the good of society. Efforts to interfere with the free market often have negative effects, such as undermining individuals' self-discipline. Now, Milton Friedman was a famous economist, a Nobel Prize winner, and he argued that the desire to be wealthy was one of the great motivational forces for individuals. Right? So in that sense, inequality, some amount of inequality is good because it will motivate individuals to make the most of their talents and work hard in order to achieve wealth. And Steve Forbes made the point that this system here, this free market system, actually you can think of it as a system that promotes the good of society in the following way. If you're going to achieve success in your business, you have to deliver some product or service that other people want. And so in a sense, that's other regarding. Yes, you're in business to make money, but to make money, you have to meet the needs and wants of others. So in this way, the pursuit of self-interest can promote the good of society. Now, for Lakoff, the liberals have a different type of family in mind. We'll call it the nurturant parent family. Here, one of the goals of parents is to teach kids to have empathy, right? Also to be responsible adults, but to also have the capacity to empathize with others who might be suffering. Why is empathy really so important? And Lakoff here cites President Obama in his book, that empathy, Obama argued, was the sort of foundation of democracy, right? And what is democracy, right? It's this arrangement, and for it to function best, he argues that citizens must care about each other, right? So empathy becomes then the foundation of democracy. Now, what is the function of government in this liberal view? Is to protect and empower its citizens. Now, how does one protect and empower citizens? Well, that does take resources, and of course that's a function of taxes. So taxes are paid so that, those resources can be used to protect and empower the citizens. So government does have a responsibility, in a sense, to care about citizens. The mission is to protect and empower them, and that's a caring function. And in contrast, right, recall the conservative worldview, where the idea here was that government should stay out of the business of intervening in sort of the free market affairs of its citizens. So there's no stated role here for government to care for citizens. The liberals want to make that explicit, and that is a dedicated function of the government, to care about individuals and their well-being. Empathy, then, is a core feature of this worldview. And of course, it does raise the question, why would some individuals not have empathy for others? And here we've seen previous research that indicates that our empathy systems in normal individuals are influenced by in-group, out-group differences, by our judgments of whether other people are being fair or not. And so when we look at society and we look at people in society, if we think that they're not behaving in fair ways or moral ways, this can affect our empathy for their suffering. If they are different from us, that can also affect the levels of empathy we might have for them.